birch trees. With their white bark, they are one of the most recognizable trees in the temperate and polar regions of North America and Eurasia. Even somebody who knows nothing about trees can probably correctly identify a birch. The reason its bark appears white is because it is rich in betulin, a chemical that occurs as crystalline deposits in cells in the outer layer of the bark. And because these crystals are arranged in such a way that they reflect all wavelengths of visible light equally, similar to snow or salt, they appear white. Researchers suspect that the white color of the birches is an adaptation to the harsh conditions in the north, as birch is one of the few deciduous trees that reach the northern limits of tree growth in both North America and Eurasia. The birch was also the earliest tree to recolonize the land after the Ice Age. Their lightweight seeds and fast growth rate make them perfectly adapted to quickly populate areas after other trees were removed by some sort of disturbance, like glaciers, forest fires, or an avalanche. You can find birch in further south regions, but unlike in the north, where they dominate, in the south their small stature and narrow crowns generally limit their spread. While pioneer communities of them, often in pure stands, do exist, they are usually replaced eventually by more shade-tolerant species, as the forests grow older. Birches are, however, not the only trees that are well adapted to living in the temperate and subpolar regions. Other species are, for example, trembling aspen and balsam poplar. One thing that all of them have in common is they all have light-colored bark. And while the ways how they achieve this are different from one another and the result of convergent evolution, the benefits for the trees are most likely the same or very similar at least. But this begs the question, why does white bark give these trees a competitive advantage over their darker rivals? Why is it a mandatory trait to survive in these environments? Researchers have hypothesized that the light-colored bark reduces the risk of winter injury during the long winter months by preventing an unhealthy warming of the tree's bark. During the daytime, when the sun is standing low and shines nearly vertically on the frozen tree trunk, a dark-colored bark would lead to a significant temperature gradient inside the wood. This would result in alternating episodes of freezing and thawing, which could cause cell death and severe injury to the stem and the bark, and make the trees vulnerable to fungal and insect pests. The high reflectivity of white bark, however, prevents the absorption of sunlight and the resulting heat gain, and ensures that the sap remains at a relatively stable temperature all winter. But the betulin inside the bark doesn't only act as a natural sunblock, additionally it has an antibacterial and antifungal effect, and is water repellent, and thus also provides direct protection against diseases. Astonishingly, betulin, more specifically betulinic acid, can even have positive effects on humans. Depending on how you use it, it is shown to have an anti-inflammatory effect, it helps to ameliorate diet-induced obesity, reduces atherosclerosis, and even has anti-cancer property linked to its ability to induce cell death to a variety of tumor cells. Even a potential use in anti-HIV and anti-malaria therapies is currently tested, which in the future might make the birch's unique adaptation that ensures its survival in the coldest climates a potential lifesaver for humans too.